This is my 1993 Chevy Pickups sales brochure that I just bought on eBay with my Christmas money for about $7.50, not including the shipping and handling. It came to about $11 total. I bought it with my Christmas money, and strangely enough, even though it came from New Jersey, it took like a week to get here, and I still don't have an eBay account or a PayPal account, so gave my friend the money and he did the transaction. I am in his basement right now. I just took delivery of it today. So this is pretty much like the Blazer brochure, except it's the pickups, not the SUVs. And it shows the entire line of the CK full-size line and the S10. Orange soda. Yeah, I got the brochure laid out on the air hockey table. January 1993. That's when this one was printed or lithographed. It says litho in USA. My other one, my Blazer and Suburban one, was 1992. Alright. So I'll do a more in-depth video of it later. And this does have the 454 SS. Just like in the SUVs, 1993 was the first year for the electronically controlled automatic transmission, or that might have been 1992, I don't remember. And I believe 93 was the first year for the 6.5 liter turbo diesel. And the 6.2 liter diesel was still available. So there were 2 diesel options, 3 gas V8 options, and the 4.3 liter V6. And the Suburban, full-size Blazer, and S10 Blazer all had standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. It seems that all the pickups only had standard 2-wheel anti-lock brakes. Highest resale value. That's a nice truck right there. Like that black on red two-tone. I was never really that wild about the red colored interiors. That one's a stick shift with power windows and power locks. Intermittent wipers were standard even on the base model. Like the basic no air conditioning AM radio, no frills model. And my truck doesn't even have them. That kind of pisses me off. That one has the nice cassette player. That's the base model interior with no air. This is the Cheyenne. Now that's nice right there. Red short bed. That's a nice one. And even though it has the base model front end, this is actually a Silverado, so it's a loaded one. .454 SS. And also, one thing I've learned from friends and family who custom order trucks instead of buying them off the lot, a lot of times you can get a vehicle on the lot with most if not all the options you want, but a lot of times the trucks on the lot don't come with a posi traction or limited slip rear end. You have to order it to get it all the heavy duty towing and off-roading features you want. That's why my uncle custom ordered his Dodge Dakota back in '93. He wanted a posi traction rear. And you could even go really heavy duty and go all the way up to a locking rear differential. I know a woman who has that exact same truck. Except it's a '94, it's that exact same color. That's a nice one too. And why you'd want an extra cab with no back seat, I do not know. Unless you plan to put subwoofers back there or something. Even just 2-passenger. It sucks you can't get that on the Silverado, because then you could order a fully loaded one with just the 2 front bucket seats and no back seat in the extra cab, and you could put subwoofers and amplifiers back there. There's the crew cab. Dually. And it would not appear that power windows and locks are available, or not power windows and locks. Power mirrors are not available on the full-size pickups, but they are on the full-size Blazer and Suburban. That appears to be like a Buick Riviera or something. And that would appear to be an early 80s Monte Carlo that got wrecked. And any number that has 555 in it is typically fake. Engines. So in the 1500 and 2500, the non-heavy duty 2500 anyway, you can get, there's all the horsepower figures right there. And the 6.2 liter, while it is a very good engine, is woefully underpowered. Only 140 horsepower and 255 foot-pounds of torque, as in less horsepower than the 4.3 liter V6, though it probably gets better gas mileage. But the lack of horsepower can easily be addressed with the Banks Sidewinder turbo system, at which point it would become one of the most badass engines on the planet. And here's another thing I don't get. In the heavy-duty ones, I didn't even know you could get the 4.3 liter V6 in the 2500 heavy-duty. It has 10 less horsepower and 5 less foot-pounds or pounds-feet of torque than the one in the non-heavy-duty. So in the 1500 and 2500 non-heavy duty, you can get the 4.3 liter as the base engine with 165 horsepower and 235 pounds-feet of torque. In the heavy-duty 2500, it's 155 horsepower and 230 pounds-feet of torque, which doesn't really make much sense. Excuse me. And then in this one, the 7.4 liter 454 is only available in the 454 SS. In this one, and again, the 454 SS engine has more horsepower than the 454 in the heavy duty. And then there's the performance figures for the diesels. Slightly better for the 6.2 liter in the you can keep playing. Anyway, so I'd actually order the 6.2 over the 6.5 if I were back in '93, because you can't get the Banks Sidewinder kit for the 6.5, just the 6.2. So adding the Banks Sidewinder kit to the 6.2 will make it much better and more powerful than the 6.5 in a dually. Here's all the configurations. Z71. Wheel options. Air conditioning. Unless you lived in like Alaska or Canada or way up in Maine or any place where it doesn't get hot, I do not. Or unless you're one of those people who really doesn't like air conditioning, and I know a few people who don't really like air conditioning in their cars. Why would you get a truck without air conditioning? It doesn't make sense. But as you can see, it's optional. AM radio, that makes me laugh. And there's all the color combos. And now let's go to the S10. Here is the S10 pickup. And unlike the S10 Blazer at the time, you could not get the CPI 200 horsepower V6. Just the electronic fuel injection one. Which, in terms of performance and durability, is still a pretty damn good engine. I mean, it's got 165 horsepower. There's an 83 S10 next to a 93 S10. And again, no front anti-lock brakes. It's funny that GM is talking about how high quality its paint is, because this generation, in my opinion, was one of the worst for quality in terms of the paint. Like chipping off. Other than that, I think they're great trucks. There's the fully loaded Tahoe. It's got power mirrors and locks and windows and air conditioning. This was right before they redesigned it for '94. Look at the size of that freaking cell phone. CD player was available, as in the Blazer. Now, don't hold me to this, but I think intermittent wipers were an option in the S10. I've seen ones with cruise control. It says it's standard, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a 93 S10 that didn't have intermittent wipers. It's standard when you get cruise control and tilt wheel. I like that style. Two-wheel drive, regular cab, short bed. And it doesn't go into detail about it, but I looked in the options listing, and you can order the 4.3 liter with the 2-wheel drive regular cab. That would be a sweet truck. They offer you the 2.8 at no extra cost, but that's only 125 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque, or pounds-feet of torque. Screw the 2.8 liter, I want the 4.3. 165 horsepower, 230 pounds-feet of torque. And that's the cheapest one. In terms of options, air conditioning, an AM/FM tape player, and automatic transmission are about the only options you can get in the base model EL. The 2.5 liter 4 is the standard engine. Still a nice looking truck though. See, air conditioning standard on the EL, or optional on the EL, but nothing else is. You can see by the, as indicated by the little dash at the underneath EL. S means standard, O means optional, the little dash means not available, and P means part of package. So carpeting was available as part of a package for the EL. You could not even get cloth seats in the regular cab EL. That was only the base price for the EL regular cab was like just under $8 grand. And look how weak that engine is. .105 horsepower and 135 pounds-feet of torque. But ABS is at least standard. And it says power steering is optional. Power brakes are standard, but power steering is optional. So this is my Chevy truck sales brochure. Do a more in-depth look at it later and pick out my dream truck. And the flip-out color book. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Out.
This has been a Stamped Octagon production.